Where'd it go? They're on, bro.
Against the Ropes podcast.
He's desperately trying to cover up. Ali won't extend himself while out against the rope. But Ali smells blood.
With a resounding answer, he takes a prideful stroll around the ring. How did you like that?
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Against the Ropes. I am Gio Garcia. I am alongside Christian. Nos queda for episode number 66.
Hey, 66.
What's going on?
It's going.
It's going, and we have an all-star crew here in the building.
And they're dressed.
We are dressed.
To the occasion.
She's back for the second time.
I am.
Can I get a two-time?
Two-time. Thank you, gentlemen,
Cynthia.
for inviting me on.
Miss Cynthia
Cynthia
Conte.
Conte.
Welcome. Yay. Let's go. Welcome back.
Oh, it's great to be back. Gotta talk some boxing. We have a lot to talk about, gentlemen.
Huge weekend in boxing. Probably the biggest weekend in boxing, right?
I wanna
Biggest
say.
event of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we also have our expert, good friend here
I don't know about all that.
from Just Boxing, Mr. Sean. Welcome back.
Hello,
Thank
Sean.
you. Thank you.
Just Boxing.
You guys clapped for me and everything.
Yeah.
Get a clap here, man. Everybody gets a clap here.
Did you get a two-time, though? How many times have you been on?
This is my third.
Okay.
Third
Well,
time.
you
Three
get-
time?
Three
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Man, welcome. Good to have you guys here.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's a big
What
weekend
should
of
we
boxing.
start with?
I say we start with the heavyweight division. Let's just get into it.
You got to.
You
It's
have to.
the elephant in the room.
It is.
It's not it's not really the water cooler talk, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was a major water cooler
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
People were talking about, they didn't even know who Andy Ruiz, they didn't even know boxing.
Yeah.
This one, they just didn't really say anything because they just knew,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
just what happened didn't happen. And
Yeah.
what didn't happen really happened.
Yeah.
All right, so what was your prediction before the fight? Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, number 2.
My prediction for the fight, I thought Ruiz 4-6 or late stoppage. That's,
Oh wow.
but based on the Ruiz that we all saw.
Yeah.
So, and based on the Ruiz that we all took when he said, "I'm training, I'm not letting myself go," that is based on what we thought.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean?
I actually didn't make a prediction. So for two weeks, they tried to get me to predict. And what I said was I could see a clear path to victory for either fighter. It was kind of a toss-up fight for me. I still think Andy Ruiz had the goods to stop Anthony Joshua if he was able to reach him. He just wasn't able to reach him, and he wasn't in condition. But I will say, along the lines of what Cynthia was saying, I bought into a lot of different things. There, like, the picture of Michael Hunter, him on the ring where he's looking fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Him saying that he was going to come in 8 to 10 pounds lighter, and that's what his camp wanted. The fact that he had weighed in, less than that for his fight at StubHub before he fought Anthony Joshua the first time. So right up until he took his shirt off, I expected him to be in shape. I was making excuses for him after the weigh-in.
I felt bad because even when he did the weigh-in, when I sat there and I'm like, what is going on? And when he came out with the statement, and I even posted it, that he drank water and this, but in
Had 2
reality, I'm
meals.
thinking, I get it that they had a late weigh-in, so and the timing is off,
Yeah.
but can you really gain 15 pounds of water weight from 9 to 4 p.m.? I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
I think it's possible, but even then, you're still heavy if you're, 283?
283.
Minus 15?
Yeah, but when
That's
you
still
see
pretty
that,
heavy.
you see that from cats who are dehydrating themselves
Yeah,
to get down to really low weight classes,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about Andy Ruiz at heavyweight. He doesn't really have a need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went an even different route. I thought, well, muscle's heavy. Maybe he got top heavy and he's all, kind of built upstairs.
We all
on.
did, honey.
Like,
We're all.
I was making so many because my heart was there, but the truth is my mind told me that either guy could stop each other,
Yeah.
and I think that that's still true. Either guy could have stopped the other. It's just wasn't Andy's night for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we were
You
at
were
leg-
going with Andy too, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I thought Andy was gonna come in that same shape, that he was. But we had heard stories from being at Legends 3-4 months ago that he wasn't ready, that he wasn't, but I was like, okay, it's 3-4 months out.
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to get it together in time, but yeah, he did not.
Did you guys hear his TMZ interview by any chance?
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw that.
That
I'm
he
gonna
ate
play it in a
everything.
bit. Yeah, but
Coronas,
what do you guys think
a
about
couple
that?
extra Coronas.
To me, I think that was very stupid on his part to he's being honest, but like you don't disrespect the sport, and you know people are gonna shoot at you if you're saying Coronas and all this stuff. It's just.
I mean, he's owned it.
Yeah.
That, but he disrespected the sport because it's your job. You have one job to make weight, to train, and to do your best in the ring. I mean, your job was to try to keep those belts, and it was just one was discipline, one was not. And I understand that the lifestyle, the fame, the money, everything got to him. Big lesson learned. He now knows that we don't know if we'll get the third fight. I mean, there was a thing, did you see on Matchroom IG that when they spoke in the ring, because they first asked, what did he say to you? And Andy said, oh, we're going to do this again. And then when Joshua said it had nothing to do with it, was just like, it was a good fight. Yeah. But Matchroom put it out there, them speaking, he's like, I did this, this is to set up the third fight. And next time we're going to war, we're dropping bombs. Like, we're going to go toe to toe. So I think maybe if it's a third way, the way Andy was the first time, and then the way Joshua was this time, I see that happening all around. Like, he was able to keep him out of the pocket and keep him at bay.
I mean, the narrative is there for there to be a third fight. It was just the immediate, after that second fight, nobody would really care to see it. Yeah, until Andy opened his mouth and started saying, "Well, I wasn't ready."
But that's crazy because Anthony Joshua got beat worse in the first fight, I believe, than this decision win.
That's the thing, is that they both had they both lost on their own. I can't say it's a concussion. We still don't know. Joshua will come out when he says it, when he writes his book. He will tell us the whole truth of what exactly happened. But with Andy, it's kind of the writing was on the wall. We saw it. He admitted it. But I just wish in the ring he didn't go and say when Joshua was giving him his, just like, oh, you're cool, you did good, blah, blah, blah. It's like, thank you, we made history. He's like, then he comes out and says something, and then he's like, I got to do this for a third fight. I'm like, dude, just be humble. Yeah. Yo, be humble. You lost. Yeah. You lost. You lost the minute you did not train. That's when you lost your belts.
With as cautious as Anthony Joshua was actually fighting, do you think the 15 pounds would have made a difference?
On Ruiz?
Yeah, so meaning, let's say he did come in at 160 or 268. Do you feel like that would have been a different fight?
I think he wins more rounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he wins more
Definitely
rounds.
has more opportunities to catch him.
The ring better.
But he wasn't cutting the ring at all. Yeah. That's a stylistic thing. That has. I mean, I guess you could say if he was 15 pounds lighter, he could have moved his feet faster. Yeah. But at the same time, he was really just chasing Anthony Joshua around the ring.
Yeah, that when he said just get in the middle of the ring and fight. But that's the whole point for Joshua is he did exactly what he needed to do to win, to not get hit.
And he told you he was going to do it. Yep. And you said, oh, he's going to try to outbox me, so I'm going to come in lighter.
Yeah.
He knew it. He knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, when he did that in the last round, like, come and fight me, I was like, you should have done that like around 6-7, try to get in his head at that moment. But the thing is, Joshua was so disciplined that he was never going to mix it up like that. I
think that's a great word because the level of discipline he showed not to exchange even in the last 15 to 30 seconds when you could have just given the fans a show in that moment. He was still on that, no, I'm staying out here. I'm staying on the outside. Like, even when he had him hurt and Andy Ruiz started to fire back, he would immediately disengage. It was an extremely disciplined performance.
Here, let me play the short clip, if I may.
Yeah.
You know what? If you and your friends, the new friends. I can't say if it's the old friends, but it's the new friends, the enablers. All of you guys this is what happens. Just let him train, just let him do his job, and we don't know if we'll get the third fight. I don't know. Did you hear the interview with Bob Arum about Andy Ruiz? No. Bob Arum lets it rip. He always is very honest. And
what do you say now?
He said that it's his fault, that there's no excuse for him, that, especially when you get to the top, it's so easily taken away because of your own actions. And he was just really disappointed. And I know that he was signed with Top Rank. And I guess, Jimmy, can you kind of say what happened with Bob Arum? Because I don't know why he left Top Rank, but Bob Arum said something in response to that, why he's no more with Top Rank. So if you guys didn't know, but Jimmy, someone tell me, because I just hit my foot. I did see the thing with Bob Arum, just kind of, he already knew. He just felt bad. And he's like, how do you do this? How do you do this? You were there. You had him. And how do you not train? How do you let yourself go? How do you get 15 pounds fat?
At the end of the day, like, you can end every sentence with no excuses the way that these guys do, but it is an excuse, right? I mean, he's coming out and saying, I didn't train the way that, and if I trained properly, then I would have performed better. But it's his decision not to train properly. So.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Bob Arum said that he did the same thing when he was with Top Rank. He came in heavy and always underprepared.
That's the thing. Like, did you guys kind of see that coming? Him not being prepared?
For me, I just always thought like, oh, he's a pro. He's gonna turn it around just like in enough time. I heard the stories that he wasn't training. He wasn't at the gym. He was over there in his new house. You could visibly see Manny complain like, "Este cabrón no está aquí. He's not here."
Yeah.
Like, but I just thought he was gonna like.
But
like, get it back, like get it back in time.
Well, but to be fair, so what he fought. When he fought here, and then he got the fight 2 weeks later for the Joshua fight. So he didn't have any time to
get distracted,
eat and distract himself.
That's what we're talking about,
and to celebrate,
right?
to celebrate that he got the biggest fight of his life. So having this long layoff, then of course,
comfortable.
But it's just, you gotta always stay ready, because you never know. I mean, what if anytime someone can just replace you, and you just always have to be ready.
The thing is, I don't know, like, not trying to sound messed up, but he's always been heavy.
Yeah, I know. We know we're not going to see an Adonis body on him. I mean, if we're never going to see that on him. But
so I think to a certain extent, it's a reflection of his dedication or lack thereof, right?
Yes.
He's always been heavy in every single
fight. He's always been heavy, but I can understand if you're going to come in a couple more pounds heavier for the fight, but you have to also be conditioned. Like, just don't gain fat and think you're going to be able to withstand 12 rounds with Joshua, because Joshua could have gone, I don't know, how many more rounds with him? He could go 20 rounds with him. And Andy was just like...
Okay. Especially when you know that your opponent is losing weight. Like, you should not get heavier or... let yourself go that.
He also probably thought, I mean, a lot of us thought was Joshua's mental.
Yeah.
Going into
his
mental.
Fight.
Yeah.
Into the first fight.
So, and even he said that I thought Joshua was just gonna be the same in the first fight. And
so I think the question would be, what was a bigger factor, the lack of preparation by Andy or the preparation of Anthony Joshua coming into this fight 100% locked in?
To me, I actually think it's Anthony Joshua's preparation. And I'm kind of the school that I think it would have been good for Andy Ruiz to come in lighter for sure, but I don't know that we would have seen the fight play out drastically differently. At the end of the day, if he's not able to cut off the ring and he's not able to get to Anthony Joshua, I mean, he still has the goods to do it. You could see he's got the power, he's got the fast hands, he's got all those things, but that's not the fight that Anthony Joshua is fighting. And if you didn't prepare for that correctly, so I think the fact that Joshua slimmed down, that he focused on his game and nothing else, no games, just boxing, but you know what I mean? Like, that's really the main thing. And I think if Joshua fought another fight just like that one, it would probably go the same way.
Yeah, I asked that because a lot of people... are criticizing Joshua for the style that he chose to display.
Of course.
People are saying, "Oh, Andy wasn't ready, this or that." But what do you guys think? What was the bigger factor?
I think the bigger factor was Joshua. His mindset was there. They were both hungry. They were both hungry for the win, but one's mindset was just stronger. His will, his discipline to stick to the game plan was there all 12 rounds. With me, I'm with Cynthia. I really thought that Andy was in Joshua's head, and I thought that he was trying to convince himself. I thought he was trying to convince himself that he could beat him, but I think he was gaining confidence round by round by round. You know, obviously you see Andy show up that much heavier. It gives you a little bit more confidence because you're like, I'm fit. I did my work. I put in the miles. I lost all this weight. I'm not as heavy as I was in the first fight. So I'm gonna have to give it to Joshua. And
talk about a confidence builder. You land your first right hand.
Oh yeah,
and you see and serious cut.
No, that I was. God, I was so worried about that. But no, to give credit, we have to also give credit to Anthony Joshua because he did lose the muscles. He did lose 10 pounds. He listened to Vladimir Klitschko. And yes, I understand. I was kind of pissed. I'm like, I want to see a fight. I really want to see two guys go toe to toe. When it's the heavyweight division, there's belts on the line. This is the heavyweight division. You guys are in freaking Saudi Arabia. You're making history. I don't want to see people on a bicycle, but I get it. It's to hit and not to be hit. I get it. That's your style. And if you're able to do it, if you're able to get in and out of the pocket and still and win by rounds, then so be it. Then your career is going to last a lot longer than the people who are going to be get hit in the head so much more.
With as big a legacy fight as this was for Anthony Joshua and his need to kind of get those belts back, this is one of those ones where you win tonight and look good some other time, right? The number one thing that he had to do was win.
Get the belts back.
And he did exactly what he needed to do that. Now, anytime someone fights a defensive fight, they get criticized.
Was it
Canelo? Yeah, of course. Or how about cautious?
Okay, cautious.
Not defensive. It was a very cautious fight, right?
Yes.
I think like when you see Canelo fight, that's more of a defensive fight. But like what he did was cautious. But I think anytime someone does either of those two things, they're bound to be criticized for their lack of effort to excite fans.
Yeah, like the second battle is not going to be as memorable as the first time in no way, shape, or form.
No, they both made their own history.
Yeah.
Even if Joshua knocks him out the second time, it still wouldn't be as memorable.
I don't think it could have been no matter what happened. Like, let's say Andy Ruiz came out and knocked him out in the first round. It still would not have been as memorable as the first fight just because the first one was so much of a, the underdog, whatever it was, 13-1 story.
Yeah.
The unexpected. Whereas on this one, if you see Andy Ruiz knock him out again, you go, yeah, he did that last time. I've seen that last time.
But like coming into the fight, the stuff that you're saying, Joshua just being locked in, I think that's why I chose him before the fight. I didn't really care what Andy Ruiz did. I was still rolling with Joshua for some reason, and I think it was a good fight. Honestly, I didn't think it was that boring like people were making it to be.
I think we were more shocked. I think it was because we were expecting
some fireworks.
We were expecting some fireworks, and we knew Joshua's game plan going in. Like, even Andy said it to him, how do I win? Well, this is what you have to do. He did it. He did it. He showed us all. We're like, oh, okay. And I think it was just that Andy we weren't so used to seeing him that big and him chasing him. We were expecting to see them go toe-to-toe, and every time he got caught, AJ, it was just like, okay, get off.
You know what? The clinch was also a really major factor. You could tell that Anthony Joshua really made an emphasis on clinching. And later in the fight, to Andy Ruiz's credit, he stopped allowing that. But it was still didn't make a difference.
Well, the ref didn't really do anything, which that kind of upset me. If you're gonna hit your head or dirty punches, rabbit punches, but the clinching. That was his game plan, but it's stop holding. Like, if I want to see people cuddle, come on. But yeah, I was happy that Andy was able to push him off, and it was still good. It was
cold out there.
It was cold
rainy.
Windy,
it was raining.
I know. But when the third fight, I wanted to say yes, but now, what else could happen? They both won. They both won one fight in their own respective ways.
Do you guys want to see a third fight? That's the question.
I mentioned it on your show this past weekend. I like to see it only because I still saw some type of. I think Joshua was a little afraid of getting hit.
Well, because Andy Ruiz can still do it. That's like you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, he still has the power, he still has the hand, he still has all those tools, all the things that knocked him out the first time. He still has them. It's really just a matter of catching it.
And even when Joshua got hit, it was like he would smile back, he would talk back. To me, it was just like, oh, he's trying to pump himself up or make himself feel like, oh, I can take his punch, right? But I'd like to see a third fight because if Andy can, dedicate himself and kind of switch things up, and if he can touch Joshua in the third fight, I think it would be interesting.
To your point, I think every time in that fight when Andy was able to break a clinch and start landing some shots inside, there was always this feeling of, he might get him.
Yeah,
he might get him right now.
We're like,
right? Like we're 9 rounds in, but we're still like, he might get him right now, right? And then it didn't happen. And so I think some of that is the way that Anthony Joshua reacted to those blows too. Like it's clear he doesn't like being hit by Andy Ruiz. Nobody likes being hit by anybody. Mm-hmm. But you understand what I mean. He doesn't react well to it. Yeah.
Someone said, and I've heard this before, and now where to go. Well, we praise Floyd for the way he fights. Basically, he boxes. We praise him, but then when AJ does it, it's we get shit.
I would disagree a little bit because many people do not praise Floyd for the way that he fights. He has many criticizers and haters who would say that his fights are boring, that they would rather watch some lesser known people fight, like all kinds of critical things. So there are people who like Floyd that praise Floyd for the way he fights. If you don't like Floyd, the last thing you do is praise him for the way he fights.
I personally didn't watch his last 4 fights.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had no interest in it. I know he was just gonna win with a jab.
Joshua was getting a lot of heat for. They were saying that Andy was a better boxer because he's been boxing since he was 8. That Joshua picked it up late at 18. That he doesn't have the same boxing IQ, but he showed it. He showed it. Maybe he's not going to please everybody, but, he stuck to that game plan and he outboxed him.
And he's gone 12 rounds before. Let's not act like he's never done this before, right? Against Joseph Parker, it was the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But people said that fight was boring.
Yeah.
People said Andy won that fight. I think it's just when it comes to the heavyweights, you want to see fireworks. Yeah. You want to see like the old days, like when it was 15 rounds, you weren't freaking running. No. The ref would probably push them towards you. But whatever. It was a good fight overall. I don't really care to see another fight. Honestly, a lot of people saying no because where else could it? He wants to do it in Saudi. I'm still a fan of Andy's. It's just.
And one of the things we said, right? Andy still has a lot of really marketable fights out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Things that can make him good amounts of money that I think a lot of people would like to watch. Yeah. So Anthony Joshua is not the only option for Andy Ruiz.
I think the biggest factor going for him is that he's Mexican. All right? He's always going to be marketable. Make a fight in L.A. He could fight in Mexico. People are going to go watch.
Because of that moment that he became a champion, the first Mexican.
He's still the first.
Yeah.
Because Chris Arreola is Mexican too, but he's not marketable.
He didn't win a belt.
There you go.
It's all about the belt, Sean.
Remember this.
Do belts
Andy
matter?
is the former heavyweight champion. Like he didn't even have that title a year ago? Yep. He was just fighting here next door.
Yeah.
And now he will be marketable. It's just like any other champion, any champion who's lost their belt. Yeah. He just has to, the first thing he needs to do is get back into the gym and really understand and know why he's doing what he's doing. Does he really want to do this just to win the belts back, or does he still love the sport and then know to put his friends, everything aside, and just get in the gym and lock down?
Yeah. And it's crazy because if Andy had won this fight, Manny, his trainer, could have been in the running for Trainer of the Year. And so, now nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
You disagree?
No, I agree with that. Yeah. That's a good point.
And, now, I think Manny's a great trainer. He's always, there. Even when they ask him, are you upset at Andy? He's like, you know what? I'm not going to say I'm in the good and the bad. I'm going to support him. I'm going to have his back no matter what. Mm-hmm. We're just going to keep moving forward. That just shows loyalty, outside of the boxing sphere, as a person, as a man. So it just sucks that Andy did not reward this trainer the way he should have. With that discipline.
I know.
Yeah.
You can't. A lot of people were saying, well, it is the trainer's fault. No, I'm sorry. You can only get someone to do so much. Mm-hmm. You have to want it reciprocated. Yeah. And he did apologize during the press conference, a post-fight presser. Mm-hmm. He apologized to Manny, and it was nice, but.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the sound bites, even in the ring after the fight, he said, "I basically trained myself."
Yeah,
Like that.
when I heard that, I'm like, no.
Did that
and
make you cringe?
I'm friends with the trainers, so I was just like, I felt that was such an insult to what Estrelita and Manny have done and the team. It's like, don't say that, because
cringed.
it reminded me of Chavez Jr. Immediately reminded me of Chavez Jr. when I see him training in his living room, and Freddie Roach, and Freddie got so much shit, and he's like, I can't make him come to the gym. What am I supposed to do? Force him? So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought myself.
Makes me mad, but big lesson learned there. And so we have a new heavyweight, two-time.
Unified.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Unified world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, unified. That's right.
You just have to remember there was so much pressure on Joshua.
So
much pressure. On him. If he would have taken this loss, I'm not saying he's forgotten. Of course not. He's also marketable, but this would have taken a big hit on where he can go.
Joshua took a lot of criticism for that interview where, I don't know if you guys saw, where he had said, I want you to kneel at my feet when I beat Andy Ruiz. Do you remember that?
Everyone bowed down to my feet.
you have to remember that this is a guy who, literally, he lost to Andy Ruiz, and people told him, you should retire. Yeah. You shouldn't come back. You shouldn't fight Andy again.
You don't look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, you should do, all these, you look like a bodybuilder. That's why you should stay out of this sport. And at the end of the day, I can kind of understand where he's coming from if he's going to come back and say, okay, if this guy's so great, if I should retire, if this sport isn't for bodybuilders, if I'm terrible, then when I beat this guy, you should kneel at my feet and tell me how great I am, right? Mm-hmm. And so to some extent, it didn't come out the way that I think he intended for it to come out, but I can understand the attitude, particularly that a fighter would have in that position,
No, that's very true. But, everyone was, they were off their game. They were just in that kill mode. I'm going to kill you. Because I wondered what would happen to Anthony Joshua. And he said, I'm not going to retire. Like, are you kidding me? I'm a fighter.
Yeah. He made 80 what million?
Come
on, he's not retiring anytime soon.
But it's good.
Damn, but it's crazy how people just hop off the bandwagon so quick. The same people who were like, Andy Ruiz is a hero. No, like, fuck this guy, disgrace to the sport. Can't believe he did that. He's done. Man, but that's boxing, man. That's how it goes. Take one L and the world is over for you.
Yeah. And it's always how you lose. That's the thing.
You lose,
you said that many
It's
times.
how you lose. And for me, he lost the minute he didn't train. Yeah. So I felt he disrespected us all. Everyone in this sport is a fan. It's like, you hurt my heart because you didn't do. If I didn't train for something, then of course you're gonna get mad at me. But it's your job, damn it.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, I don't like the fat shaming, but I like. We're talking about the discipline.
Yeah, it's a discipline.
It's a discipline. You didn't do what you had to do as
Put
a
those
world
coronas
champion.
away.
As a world champion. As a fucking world champion.
So now who does Joshua fights? Wilder.
Is that penciled in? Is that
no? So right now it's just Wilder Fury 2. That is penciled in.
Ooh.
Yeah. Joshua has 2 mandatories though.
Yeah, and he's intending to fight them both. He's not gonna
that makes
vacate.
sense.
Usyk is one of them. Who is the other? Pulev?
Povetkin.
Yeah. No.
Or I'm sorry.
Pulev.
Yeah, Pulev. Sorry. Yeah.
But now Dillian Whyte. Remember, Dillian Whyte is now in the mix because his suspension was lifted. But that's on the Wilder Fury. So whoever wins that is going to fight Dillian Whyte, which he has earned the right. He has earned the right.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in that position for the better part of what feels like 3 years. They had
they
had Dominic Breazeale jump past him at one point.
Yeah.
And they had when he was
Pulev first, and then Usyk in the fall. Yeah. Okay. So Usyk, we saw since we've seen Joshua's excellent boxing skills and his ring IQ, Usyk is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
How does that fare? And that will be Usyk's second fight, or maybe third fight?
Maybe his third, yeah.
Third
If he's gonna fight Pulev first, I imagine Usyk would have to take a fight in between time. Yeah. So it'd be his third fight at heavyweight.
Who would fight him?
Usyk, AJ,
by Povetkin, maybe. See that the thing with Usyk, you could see the skills, of course, but he was still getting tagged by what was his
the late replacement
Witherspoon?
No, Chaz Witherspoon.
Yeah, he was still getting hit here and there, so he could be hurt. you can tell that there's moments where he could still. I mean, it's a heavyweight division. These guys are naturally bigger than him, so it's like with these elite, I don't know if he can.
But who was it that he was gonna fight? He was gonna fight like Carlos Takam or something like that, right?
Yeah.
When that fell out, like that would be an interesting step up at the heavyweight division.
So Usyk and Chisora are fighting in March.
Or Chisora,
Chisora, okay.
That's right.
That's a good test for him.
Good test.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good test.
That's great.
Yeah, anybody like position 5 through 10 is a good test to see.
So what's next for Andy though?
What's next?
What's his name in PBC stable? There was is it Kaunacki?
Adam Kaunacki.
Yeah.
Polish
Yeah.
guy, Polish American guy.
Yeah. I mean, the PBC, they have fighters, so I mean, they have Wilder. They have the belts. I mean, anything can happen now. I mean, if Wilder, God forbid, Wilder loses the belt to Fury, then Fury would fight Joshua.
Is that what you're predicting?
No. I'm just saying no.
Okay.
I don't want the belts all in UK. Come on. Come on.
Shout out to the British.
What do you want? I know. I love the
y'all.
Brits. I want, I want it to be all around. I think it's good for the sport, but someone has to fight Wilder. I mean, Fury.
What do you think? Well, you guys want to give a prediction for that fight, or is it too early?
Wilder Fury?
Yeah.
So, number 2. Rematch.
I mean,
We
it's
thought
the same
first
thing.
of Ruiz and Joshua was crazy. That first one was crazy with Fury.
I will say that obviously the same thing I said about this other one. I don't want to sound like I'm shying away from predictions, but there is obviously a clear path to victory for both fighters. We know what Tyson Fury has to do, and we know what Deontay Wilder has to do, and we know that they both can do it.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think will be very different is that Tyson Fury has now had a lot more work back in the ring. And he's actually in better shape now than he was when. Yeah, you can see it. Physically, he's in better shape. This isn't me predicting Andy Ruiz being in better shape. Like Tyson Fury is actually in better shape.
Andy's training in his living room, but he's really training. Like,
but he
did that video to Wilder.
But he's using the whole living room, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the real.
He even moved his coffee table out of the way. He moved it out of the way so he wouldn't run into it and stuff. And he was looking good. So he's in much better shape than he was the first fight. And so to some extent, you could make an argument that he even won the first fight. The judges didn't see it that way, so it's not hard to go that way. But if I predicted Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder won by knockout, would I be surprised? No, of course not. Right? Like, and I think that's true for probably everybody sitting here.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed that Tyson's going to win almost every single round, that he doesn't get touched. We saw Ortiz win majority of the rounds against Wilder up until that point. So, right now, I mean, we can make that argument that as long as he doesn't get that hit with that straight right, because he didn't get hit cleanly in the first fight.
Not really.
He got hit, but he didn't get hit cleanly.
Yeah.
So that's the factor.
Yeah, and I'm a Tyson Fury guy. I would predict him to win that first fight, but man, let's see. I want to see if he can stay focused because I know he has a lot of stuff going on. You know, that's the only thing I'm gonna say.
Who, Fury?
Tyson Fury.
Oh, because it's WWE.
Oh, that's right.
He's talking about retirement already.
I asked Bob Arum about that. I go, he could get hurt. I even asked Ben Davison about that.
Sure.
But Bob Arum went off on me again. He always does. He's like, Cynthia. He goes to a school where they teach you not to get hurt. I'm like, okay. But
where's that school at?
That makes a lot of sense.
no, but I don't know. That one's just it's a hard one because I don't that knockout. I mean, for him to come back from a knockout. Yeah. If Fury was able to feel all of Wilder's power in that one knockout, I don't know.
Yeah, we gotta think about that one a little more.
Yeah,
As it gets closer, got a couple
that's
months.
a hard one. But someone said Ruiz Ortiz. You know what, Ortiz?
That's a good fight.
I would love to see Ortiz back in the ring immediately. Yeah. I mean, he did get rocked pretty hard, but man, he looked so good.
Yeah.
With the weight loss, he was quick on his feet. He tagged Wilder a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in the first fight.
Yeah.
See, matchmaker over here, that fight makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they do it like somewhere not in Vegas, or maybe like in Mexico, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
He has talked about fighting in Mexico, so that would be a good bounce back, win. It's winnable. So.
Yeah, 2020 is. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of good heavyweight action once again, right? This year was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I think because of that Andy Ruiz win, right? Kinda
It's the year of
everything.
the upsets. 2019 was the year of the upsets.
Yeah. Talking about that, Harrison is fighting Charlo again.
Right? That's fireworks in itself. Just the press conference.
What do you guys think about that one? Besides fireworks, who do you guys taking on that one?
I'll go Charlo on that one.
Any specific reason?
It was a close fight the first time.
Very.
Yeah, it was a very close fight the first time around.
Thanks, guys. Against the Ropes, you guys are so awesome. It's fight night, bitches!
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas. Un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Huge shout out to Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time on y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.